Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha.
Those include Dvaipayana Araham, Bhagavatam. This Purana is known as the Bhagavat Purana. It is the essence of all of it. And my father, Dvaipayana Vyas, instructed this to me. Shukadeva Goswami is speaking. Dvapara Ado, at the beginning of Dwapara Yuga. Do we by any chance have that here? Second chapter in English, not very light, or even in Lithuanian. Okay. Anyway, the unusual point here is that it's stated Dvapara Ado, which means at the beginning of Dwapara Yuga. Whereas it's very clear that actually it was at the end of Dwapara Yuga that this took place. Because Vyasa only comes at the end of Dwapara. At the end of Dwapara Yuga there's a Vyasa. There's no need before that time to have a Vyasa. Vyasa makes he edits the Vedas, divides it, and puts it into writing, which isn't necessary before that time. Oh, I guess. So the question is this a mistake? It's more or less the question. I didn't bring the question with me. Well, it's an unusual point, no doubt. But in the purport, Srila Prabhupada, I don't have it with me now, but Srila Prabhupada quotes Jiva Goswami Prabhupada. He said that here, at the beginning means at the end. And he gives the example of a tree, the bottom of which is seen first. And Prabhupada doesn't quote it in his purport, but Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives another explanation. He said that, Vyasa actually appeared at the junction between Dwapara and Kali Yuga. Between two yugas there's a period which is called Sandhya, which means the interim period. Sandhya is general usage in Indian languages even today means the junction between day and night, dawn and dusk. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains that here at the beginning of Dwapara Yuga means at the beginning of the period at the end of Dwapara Yuga. These are the explanations of the Acharyas. So it would seem that the word should be, the compound word should be Dwarpa Ante, at the end of Dwapara Yuga, but Vyasadeva, for his own reasons, has recorded it like that. And our Acharyas have explained it like that. And I think we can leave it at that without further discussion. Yeah. That's technical.
Yeah, that's definitely legal.
Although, if we wanted to dig deeper, we could have theological overtones, but sometimes it's better not to dig too deep. As the saying goes, fools rush in where angels fear to tread. Do you have that saying in your language? Is that from the Bible? Yeah. Is that? It's from the Bible. Yeah, many biblical sayings there throughout the European languages. They become proverbs.
Ir daug tokių biblinių posakių Europoje yra, kurie labai
It's an inspired work, no doubt, the Bible. So, here's another question. I'll read it in English and then I'll give it to you. But I'll just summarize it. Should a spiritual master be liberated and Uttamadhikari to be a guru, to accept the position of a Diksha guru? Yeah, I just say it because I'm saying it in brief. In the answer, the devotee who's asking it says that it seems to me that the onus of taking the position of a guru lies on the guru himself. And the fortune of finding an uttam adhikari guru depends on the disciple's sincerity. Please clarify. Well, the general understanding is that the bound cannot free the bound. But on the other hand, who will say that I am liberated? Bhakti Thakur, he has composed many songs, from which I will quote from one of them. Amito Vaishnava buddhi hoile amani na hobavami. If I think that I am a Vaishnav, I will be puffed up. Pratishta ashi hridoi dushibe hoibo niroi gami. And the desire for honor will enter and contaminate my heart, and then I'll go to hell as a result of that. Sai shishya tava takiya sarvada na loibo pojaka. Therefore, I will remain your disciple always and not accept anyone's worship. But of course, Bhaktivinoda Thakur did accept disciples. But the mood is that of not accepting. It's two moods. One is as the Vaishnava and one is as the Guru. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said that if a Vaishnava becomes a Guru, he ceases to be a Vaishnava. Because a Vaishnava thinks of himself as a servant of everyone. Whereas a Guru is the spiritual master. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati also said that if a Vaishnava doesn't become a Guru, then the parampara will cease. So here, it's stated, or it's opined, that the onus of taking the position of a guru lies on the guru himself. Well, not exactly like that. If someone thinks, well, I'm a guru, they're not. But rather, as Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati explained in this, when he said a Vaishnava cannot be a guru, he said that the order of the guru, of one's own guru, is to, what you have received, to give that to others, to oneself, to accept disciples. That order is received in Parampara from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Amar Agyai Guru Hoya. On my order be a guru. Not on the order. And as Prabhupada explains that who would think themselves to be a guru, but if Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's orders, then one has to be. Now Srila Prabhupada often quoted this and said that all Vaishnavas should be gurus. And there are various statements in Shastra regarding the qualifications of guru. Srila Prabhupada would mostly quote these two verses. There are two verses spoken by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. One is this one from which I just quoted. Jare deko tare kaha Krishna upadesh amar agya guru hoya tara edesh. Whoever you meet and whoever you see, speak to them the instructions of Krishna. On my order be a guru and deliver this land. And the other one Prabhupada would quote regarding the qualifications of a guru, it was the Kiba Vipra Kiba Nasi Shudra Kenenai De Krishna Tapta Veta Shri Guru Hoy. That whether one is a Brahmana, a sannyasi, or a Shudra, if he knows the science of Krishna, this is the way Prabhupada would inevitably translate this, he can be a guru. I hope you're translating this correctly. Did you say that Prabhupada said this?
Station.
Yeah, well, specifically Krishna Tattva Prabhupada quoted it. Jai Krishna Tattva Veda. Srila Prabhupada would translate that as one who knows the science of Krishna. But the verse itself is spoken by the whole verse is spoken by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Just I heard the word Prabhupada and then I heard Brahmana, Sannyasi, Shudra, that's spoken by Prabhupada, but originally by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I was just drawing attention to the point that Srila Prabhupada translated Jai Krishna Tattva Veda as one who knows the science of Krishna. So, is the onus on the devotee to act as a guru. Rather, it is that he receives the order from his guru to do so. That is the general principle, rather than just thinking, okay, I'll be a guru. But that order is there for every Vaishnava, specifically in the line of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And we received that from Srila Prabhupada. Now, regarding being liberated, what does it mean to be liberated? Regarding the liberated position, the verse which is by far the most quoted in the Gauriya line, which is quoted repeatedly in the Acharya's writings and in their words, is the verse which I'm about to say. Iha yasya harer dasya karmana manasagira nikila shvaktavasthasu jivan mukta sabuchate, which means that whoever, even in this world, is fully engaged in the service of Hari by his activities, thoughts and words, is liberated. So of course we can't tell what's going on in people's minds, but we can see the activities and hear the words. And of course the activities and the words, they reflect the mental state. Someone who's thinking of sense enjoyment tends to engage in sense enjoyment and talk about it. One who's thinking about Krishna tends to engage in his service and speak the message of Krishna. Here's a quote from one of Srila Prabhupada's purports, Bhagavatam. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur states that one should not care very much whether he is going to be liberated or not, but he should simply execute the direct order received from the spiritual master. If one sticks to the principle of abiding by the order of the spiritual master, he will always remain in a liberated position. This quote here. So to follow the order of the Vaishnava Guru, that is itself being in the liberated position by his grace. Nam chayo vyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan sanatikyaitan dhamma bhuyaya kalpate. One who is fully engaged in Krishna service is automatically in a position beyond the laws of nature. Here's a quote from one of Srila Prabhupada's lectures. Even in the training period, if one is sincere and serious, he is liberated. Now here's a quote from a letter of Srila Prabhupada's, directly concerning this point. Generally, the spiritual master comes from the group of such eternal associates of the Lord, but anyone who follows the principles of such ever-liberated persons is as good as one in the above-mentioned group. A person who is liberated Acharya and Guru cannot commit any mistake, but there are persons who are less qualified or not liberated, but still can act as Guru and Acharya by strictly following the disciplic succession. As Srila Prabhupada often said, do as I am doing. So if Srila Prabhupada instructs, do like this, and his disciple does like that and instructs others to do the same, then the disciple of Srila Prabhupada's disciple gets the same result as following Prabhupada. Same thing. Just like Krishna spoke to Arjuna, but we get the same result as Arjuna by accepting Bhagavad Gita in disciplic succession. Now, Srila Prabhupada distinguishes here, a person who is a liberated Acharya and Guru cannot commit any mistake. That means that those who are liberated Acharyas, they perfectly understand Siddhanta. Siddhanta means proper understanding of the Shastric conclusion, which is summarized as the Dashamur Bhakti. Before Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and Bhaktivinoda Thakur also compiled the Dashamur with 10 points. Basic understanding of Krishna consciousness. Amnaya Praha Tapan, that knowledge is to be received in the disciplic succession. What is stated in Shastra is received in disciplic succession. Hari Iha Paramam. Hari is the Supreme Lord. And like this, the basic point. And apart from this, there may be many subtle points of Siddhanta. We find, for instance, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, that after Chota Haridas had given up his body, some of the followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu thought that he had become a ghost. But Swarup Damodar, who is the absolutely authoritative in Siddhanta, said that this could not have been possible. Chota Haridas practiced Krishna consciousness throughout his life, intimate associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he gave up his body in a holy place, even though by suicide. They tried to become a ghost because he committed suicide. But therefore he must have attained, Swarup Damodar said, Sadgati, or an auspicious destination. Technology is not perfect. I think so. Anyway, alright. It's alright. Just okay. It'll fall down. Just leave it. Sometimes you get in more of a mess trying to do it. So, certain acharyas, they are considered most authoritative, which is one reason we have drawn Baladev Vidyabhushan Prabhu and then later Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. They drew up a list of acharyas as the Bhagavat Parampara, because there have been hundreds and thousands of gurus initiated. But those whose understanding and teaching is perfectly authorized, those names are there. By Diksha lines, the parampara may become broken or vitiated, as Lord Krishna indicates in the Bhagavad Gita. So we have to follow those who are bona fide acharyas, whose understanding of Siddhanta is exactly to the point, and whose application of it is to the point. Just like there may be devotees who speak, for instance, on very high subject matters which are from Shastra, but they're speaking on them to a wide audience is not approved by our acharyas. They're speaking according to Shastra. But so there are many fine points to understand. The neophyte devotee who approaches a guru, how will he understand all these things? Kono bhagyavan jeev guru Krishna prasade pai bhakti lata abij. One who's fortunate, they can get the seed of bhakti from a guru by the mercy of Krishna. In the question that was submitted here, the fortune of finding an uttamadikari spiritual master depends on the disciple's sincerity. Well, not every uttamadikari acts as a guru. Kishore Babaji Maharaj, he only accepted, from what we know, he only accepted one disciple. Well, apparently he may have had some more of his Shiksha disciples. But many people approached him, but they only imitated him. He didn't instruct them. He didn't undertake to instruct them in the gradual method of advancement. Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj's outlook was, you should be a full devotee of Krishna. If you're not, you're completely bogus. Here's to be a summary of his approach. Whereas Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he founded the Gauriya Math to help people progress through the stages. Ado, Shraddha, Tata, Sadhu, Sangha, Atha, Bhajana, Kriya, Tato, Nata, Nivritti, all these stages from initial faith, to associating with devotees, to engaging in devotional service under the guidance of devotees, to becoming free from unwanted things, and so on. Yeah, and so on, up to praying. And then he goes on. Really doesn't pray also. But then some people say that, well, this Bhaktisiddhanta, he's not an Uttam, you see, he's not Uttam Adhikari, he's dealing in properties and collecting disciples, and doesn't seem to be so very advanced. So how will you know? I've seen devotees who are advertised as Uttama Adhikari, but then their followers don't seem to do so well. Maybe for a beginning student, it might be better to have a competent, and just like in the school, the young children who go to school, for them probably a trained primary school teacher would be better for them than an Einstein. The primary school teacher who teaches 1 + 1 = 2 is nowhere near on the level of Einstein. But their teaching was more pertinent or more suitable for the young children who are just beginning their instruction. And actually, if Einstein, if he was to benefit, if he was given young children to teach, if he was actually to benefit them, he wouldn't try to explain to them relativity theory. He would teach them 1 + 1 = 2. That would be more realistic. So again, I see devotees, sometimes you see devotees, they speak on very high topics, but their disciple and their people think, well, they must be Uttama Adhikari. And these other ones, they're just talking about following regulated principles. They must be on a very low level. But again, we have to see how people can make gradual progress. Yeah, if we are sincere, then Krishna will help us. Still, we must... it's wise to understand that certain devotees are on an extremely high level. Not everyone who acts as a guru is on the level of Madhavendra Puri, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, our own Srila Prabhupada. Finish what I said? You didn't finish saying what I said. I said Madhavendra Puri, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, and our own Srila Prabhupada. So, and it's unrealistic to expect like that. I mean, devotees on the level of Srila Prabhupada, they don't pop up every 3 minutes. But if those who are faithful and sincere servants of the great Mahabhagavats, they can, by the mercy of the great Mahabhagavats, deliver the same gift. Okay, that's a big topic. I'll just touch that. Some other points. This voodoo drum, many people like the sound of that. But we don't have any record of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu liking it. This voodoo drum, it's liked by people in lower modes of nature. The pure devotees, they like the sweet sound of the mridanga. It's Bhaktivinoda Thakur sings, Mridanga bada shunite mon avasha shada jache. I always desire to, my mind always desires to hear the mridanga. Modhura mridanga bhaje parama rasha. Mridanga sounds very sweetly, it's very rasal, means full of rasa. So, what devotees consider that what we like is not important, what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu likes is important. Anyway, this voodoo drum has become part of life. It's another thing another speculation which has entered this school. For the rest of this life we're condemned to hear the sound of the voodoo drum. I request that you undertake the great austerity that at least as long as I'm here, please don't play it. It's only another day, and after that you can bang it and smash it as much as you like. Or if you like, you could actually take it out and sell it to some shop and learn how to play the mridanga. Another point regarding touching the feet of devotees. Naturally, disciples like to touch the feet of their guru. It's like with Prabhupada, it's not that everyone could just jump up to him and dive on his feet. It wasn't allowed, actually. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur also forbade it. And if anyone attempted to touch Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj's feet, he would curse them. So, I think we can continue to follow that etiquette. In India, sometimes you can't avoid it, especially in Bangladesh, it's very difficult. But at least among our... of course, there may be different devotees who have different outlook, but personally I prefer that people don't just grab my feet. Alright, anything else? Yes, please.
Is it true that...
take the mic and speak in the mic. Yes. Yes, for the...
Is it true that we can only get this much Krishna consciousness what Guru can give us?
Translated? Yeah, that's true. Everything is by the mercy of Guru. But that doesn't necessarily mean that the parampara is always in decline. In decline, it means always going down. Decline literally means slope. It means going down, decreasing. Simple, decreasing. Exactly the right term. And you say that, well, the disciple cannot be on a higher, or cannot manifest more Krishna consciousness than his guru, that means that necessarily every generation the parampara is fading away. On the other hand, a disciple will never say that, well, I'm on a higher position than my guru. Guru sees himself as a servant and an instrument in helping his disciples to come up. Guru is, we say Guru's mercy, but the Guru is a medium ultimately for Krishna's mercy. Everything comes from Krishna. So as we sing every morning, the Guru, the ocean of mercy is Krishna, and the Guru is like a cloud who takes water and pours that mercy. So these are very delicate subjects, but because if we start saying one devotee is more than another, then if we try to judge from our material perspective, we may make offenses. But we see that Shyamananda Prabhu, he, by the mercy of Radharani and her Sakhis, attained to, not that we understand anything about it, or we may think we do so, he attained to a level which was apparently higher than that of his guru, Hridaya Chaitanya, he attained to the service of the gopis, Shyamananda, whereas Hridaya Chaitanya was, he was on the Calvin point level. So again, we shouldn't consider from any material judgment that the service of the gopis is better than that of the Calvin point. But from another standpoint, it is. So, there's an example. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj stayed in the Dham, and Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur preached all over the world. At least, he made that movement to do so. One purport, Prabhupada says that by the grace of Lord Nityananda, one may perform greater service even than Nityananda. It appears that Prabhupada may have been referring to himself. Long ago, I was addressing a group of lawyers in India. So lawyers, they're used to arguing fine points. So this one lawyer raised the question that, well, Hanuman was more than Ram because Ram had to build a bridge to go to Lanka, but Hanuman just jumped. So I explained that, well, by the grace of Lord Ram, he may make his devotees seem to be better than him. But certainly Hanuman never came to such a conclusion that I'm better than Ram. So, anything else? Yeah. Okay. No tilak. Whenever I see you, you don't have tilak. Until I tell you. And then you put it on. You can say in Lithuanian. Well, Russian. He doesn't understand Russian.
No, English.
You can put on tilak. It's an important point. You don't like it. You don't like tilak. It's a basic principle of devotional service.
I'm not devoted. That's not true.
No, but you've accepted initiation. You may say I'm not a devotee, but you have accepted initiation. So, with initiation comes various commitments. One of them is to wear Gopi Chandan Tilak. No one. I'm not a devotee, therefore I do whatever I like. That's one shouldn't say like that. Then one shouldn't accept initiation. With initiation comes responsibility. Unless you're practicing Raga Nuga Bhakti. In Raga Nuga Bhakti one may not wear tilak.
Should I translate them?
Yeah, you can translate.
Yes, Maharaj, I understood my stupid position.
Having accepted the position of Guru, it's my duty to get you out of that stupid position. It's false humility to say, well, I'm not a devotee, I'm stupid, and then does not follow the directions of the acharyas. Real humility means to follow their instructions. For that reason we accept initiation. So, you're going to ask a question. But you're going to understand it on the mental platform or the devotional platform?
Question about spiritual master.
Yeah, well, I'm making the point that if you have a spiritual master, then you should follow. Basic things you should follow. Otherwise, it's just on the mental platform. You can never understand anything about spiritual life from the mental platform.
No. Question about such positions, about if I'm put tilak, take danda, and ask I'm spiritual master, and after...
Well, take danda, one doesn't exactly take a danda, one is offered a danda. It's not that you just anoint yourself as guru. So translate that?
Yeah.
The question and the response. Yeah.
So many disciples of Srila Prabhupada take such positions like Guru, after some time fell down.
Yeah. Translate it? Well, that proves the point. As long as you follow Prabhupada, you're liberated. When you don't, then you'll follow. If you're following, you're liberated. If you don't follow, then you're not liberated. As Madhvacharya said that he would remain in 3 places after he passed away. One is in his deity form, one is in his books, and the other is in his seat. In other words, the seat of the Acharya, those who sit on that seat. They're considered as good as Madhvacharya. So it's a simple thing to understand. But considering that many have taken that position and have not stuck to it, it is... many, they think, well, then I've got to find an Uttamadhikari, but how are you going to find out who's an Uttamadhikari? Oh, actually, there's an important point which I forgot to make. Thank you for bringing that up. In the Nectar of Instruction, in the purport, Srila Prabhupada writes that one should be careful to accept an Uttamadhikari as a spiritual master. That in that context, Srila Prabhupada defines that an Uttamadhikari is one who chants 16 rounds of the Hare Krishna mantra daily, follows the regulated principles, and is always thinking how to spread Krishna consciousness all over the world. Anyway, you can pray to Prabhupada. Direction in this regard. But that's Prabhupada's, that's how he defined it. Alright, anything else? I'll take one more question, then I'll finish. Is stuff from the back, someone has asked? Alright.
How to understand such an example that some devotee who is neophyte and not initiated, he is chanting japa but feels like Baba emotions with him, crying and everything. Can this be true, or it is?
Read the Nectar of Devotion. About the apparent harm, which is not the real thing. What's that called? Chayaratya-bhas. That's called the shadow of actual feelings. Generally, those who are advanced devotees, they don't advertise it. We should be very cautious of anyone who's advertised as a Mahabhagavat. Is it impossible to be a Mahabhagavat by preaching as Prabhupada preached, that you're not the body, follow the principles of devotional service? Generally everyone, like I said, fools rush in where angels fear to tread. Everyone's very interested to hear about the bhav of the gopis and all this kind of thing. But getting free from calm, code, low, moha, mada, matsarya, lust, greed, anger, illusion, envy, and madness, it's not such an easy thing. I would certainly think that one who can practically help me to become free from these is my real well-wisher. As Bhakti Thakur says, Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moha, Mada, Adi, Abhishta, Eshatna, Chare, Kishe, Papi, Radha, Krishna. If one is absorbed in lust, greed, anger, and the rest, then what is the question of attaining to Radha and Krishna? So often devotees like to imagine that they're on a very high level, and not only imagine, but to advertise to others that they're on a very high level. So they may or may not be. Alright, Hare Krishna. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. His Holiness Bhakti Vikasa Maharaj ki jai. It's a good day I got my coffee. Actually, I got some 6 I need a copy of this. You don't have a copy now. Yeah, please do this. This is what? It's got some pepper on it or something? Alright, let the ladies come. Books are here in Russian and English, written by myself, and CDs of lectures. Please say it. Messages. Please come a little close. Come in close. Stretch it.
Without you, possible. Without you, possible mercy.
Well, the mercy comes in the form of instructions. If you don't want to follow if you say, I want to take a bath, and someone brings the water, and you say, well, why can't I, is it possible to take a bath without getting in the water? Well, the instructions are the mercy. So you have to take the instructions.
If I put tilak morning time after not, what was I doing?
Anyway, it's up to you. I'm not going to argue with you for 1 hour over whether or not you should put tilak. I don't know why you're so much against it. Why you hate to put tilak.
Я утром одеваюсь, сыпется все.
Why rascal? You really are a rascal because you're. It's like I'm determined to be a rascal. Matyena Krishna Paratasvatova, and you want to present it as some kind of humility. Anyone else? Yeah. You already took, right? Now you made my hand dirty.
No, I from me.